Welcome everyone to our webinar on the online scoring system. Today we have Ari Morones Negrete, who is an ISU judge from Mexico, and she was also the developer of the online scoring system. So she's here today to walk us through the scoring system and give us a few tips. So nice to have you, Ari, to join us today.
Thank you, Beth. Welcome everyone. Good morning for the ones that are in Asia, good afternoon for us, or good night, depending where you're joining us. So today we're gonna talk about the online scoring system. And so let's go and here. So the overview of the session will be, we will be here for about 1 hour. And we will talk about what is the online scoring system. And then we will go through how can we use it. There's very different things we can do with the online scoring system. Then we will talk about what is the data who is the data coordinator and what they have to do during the whole events or things that you prepare with the online scoring system. And then we will go through a little bit how to download the online scoring system, and I'm gonna show you some things that you can do with the online scoring system. So let's take a look to this picture and let's think about what we see in this picture. So I can see there's a man, right, with two screens. He could be at his house or at his office, it doesn't matter. And we can see two different screens, right? So in the right one, we have a skating video, and in the left one, we have the online scoring system here. So if you are asking these questions, I invite you to go and watch the webinar 2 of the first series of webinars that was almost 2 years ago, where my colleague Elena Iñiguez de Heredia explains how to get the perfect setup for your online events. Because when you see this, you can get like crazy, like thinking, I don't have 2 computers. I don't know how to work with this. So Elena will show you how you can do it with only 1 screen or with 2 screens. So go back to that webinar and you will get all that information, okay? But now pandemia is over. That's when we start with all these online scoring system, right? There was no way to make any kind of events. So along with my friends and colleagues from around all the world, we decided to develop different documents and tools so we could keep ourselves and all the international committee involved with skating. And that's how the virtual events toolkit started and how I developed the online scoring system. But as I said, now pandemia is over. So how can we still use the virtual events toolkit, and more specific, how can we use the online scoring system? Because sometimes we think we can only use the online scoring system for scoring by like that, an event, and we can use it in very different ways. So before I go to how to explain how we can use it, what is the online scoring system? So it's a scoring application made of several Google spreadsheets that uses the internet and can be used if you are in the same place or at the other side of the world. As we can see now, we have a lot of tests from people watching from the other side of the world, like Korea and Japan and China, Taipei. So we have people from all over the world, right? But now let's go and see how can we use the online scoring system, okay? So the first thing we can do is seminars. You can use the online scoring system for judges to practice as a part of their practical evaluation. And this can be online or face-to-face. So in the case you have your moderator from another part of the world, then you can do it online. Or if you are in the same room face-to-face, you still can use the online scoring system. So here I'm gonna ask Beth to talk about how she used the online scoring system on a seminar. Beth?
Yeah, it was really kind of fun because I was giving a face-to-face seminar, but I also wanted to do like a final wrap up and an evaluation of whether or not the judges had understood what I said during the multi-day seminar. So we decided we would have a kind of like examination where we did watched videos, and then they used the online scoring system in the same room. We were all in the same room, and they put in their marks, GOE and program components. And we did singles and pairs. And then at the end, we were able to print off the sheets. And in a few minutes, you'll see a sheet, and it looks right, almost exactly the same as you would get a printout of your marks at an ISU event. So everyone who was judging or practice judging, trial judging, could see all their marks and see whether they were off or not off, and then look at their sheets and kind of consider maybe why they were high or low. And then after, we decided to kind of give a full a program of what happens when you're judging. So when Ari and I are out judging, we would have a roundtable discussion. So, and you bring those sheets with you to the roundtable discussion. So we use those sheets to help us in our roundtable discussion. And I would ask judges the kind of questions you would be asked at an event review meeting. So it was very helpful to use the online scoring system, and I really hadn't thought of it until we went to the seminar, and Jorge or Maete from Peru said, "Oh, well, I know how, yeah, I could set that up." And I was like, "Oh, this is going to be brilliant." So I would highly recommend it for a face-to-face seminar if you're doing, want to have the judges practice what it's like at a real competition, because you have to not only write the marks down like you would at a real competition, but you also have to be able to enter them. And that's something that doesn't always happen when you're at maybe a lower level event. You don't have to do it's really three things. You have to watch the skating, you have to write your marks, and you have to enter them, and be quick and smart about all of them. So it does take practice. So I really appreciated having your online scoring system for that live seminar, Ari.
That was great, Beth. I think there's a lot of things we can do with the online scoring system, and this is one of the best things I think we can do with the judges. Like, so the next one is like the trial judges, right? So trial judging can be also in both ways. It can be inside the ice rink, where there's like the regular panel judging and giving the marks and everything. But there can be also trial judging on the stands. Everybody can have a tablet or a computer, and you can watch live skating, write down your marks, and enter them also on the system. Of course, it's not exactly the same as the one we use in regular competitions, but at least it gives you the view of how it works in the real time. So whenever you see to the real competition, you don't get stressed because you don't know how to use the computer, or you have never used the left hand to click something in the computer because you're always writing with the right hand, and the left hand, you don't know how to use it. So at least here you will know now that you have to move it somewhere around, or move your pen and click with the point in the screen, right? So You can use it like that, or we can also make a special event only for trial judging, where you can give judges experience to judge and enter their marks. It's the same, but then not everybody is in the ring. And I think, Beth, you were also part of one of these trial judging for Canada, and there was people from Japan, Korea, Canada, Mexico, South America, like a lot of different places, and they were doing the trial judging for pairs, right? And we set up all the online scoring system. There was someone also learning how to do the data coordinator. And I think in the first webinar last week, Beth also talked about that. So also go to the last week seminar from Beth, and they talk about all the experience they have with that trial judging. The next one will be the feedback sessions. All these things, Beth in her webinar last week and today in like 2 hours ago, they talk about all these different experience that they had with all the different things that you can do with all the event toolkit, how to use everything we have in the virtual events toolkit, right? So the feedback sessions, we also have that it could be for skaters and coaches, and I will go through the skaters one later. I will show you how we use it sometimes here in Mexico to show the skaters what we mean when don't try these hard things to do, just go for a lower level, but with a better GOE. So we will go through and how we can show the skaters using the online scoring system. And it's very easy because you set up this beforehand. And then when you go to the ring, you just show the skaters, oh, here, this is the numbers you will get if you try this very difficult one, but with low GOE, or if you try a lower level, but with better GOE. And I can tell that the skaters go like, oh, it's 1 point more if I do a less level, but with better GOE. So I think it's also a good way to use it. Then we have the feedback sessions for officials, as Beth already talked about. It's the roundtable discussions. And we also can have these webinars, right? Also in the first series of webinar, in the webinar one, my colleague Sandra Williamson Latley talk about the importance of having a practical experience. So this is a very good way to give the practical experience that is the same as Beth did in the face-to-face seminar, right? The next one is the online element evaluation. So when pandemia we were in the middle of the pandemia, the synchronized skating committee make a online elements evaluation. And also in the first webinar from last week, Louis Long talked about that with Beth. So go there and see how it worked. And it was a very good experience. And we use also the online scoring system for that. And the next one is, sorry, I skip one, the self-training. So even if you are an international judge, it doesn't matter, or you are a national judge, you can go to your computer, set up the system, and watch live on the TV, I don't know, Worlds or something, right? So especially, let's talk about pairs that we, in some countries, is not very common to judge pairs. So it's a good way to self-training and watch skating and be, so then you can compare your marks and talk about this, right? And last, it's the events, right? We did this the whole pandemic, and we have the online events that it can be with videos or live events using Zoom. And if you are not sure how you have to record those videos, I invite you to watch the webinar 5 of the first series of webinars, where my colleague Luca de Mate talks about how video recording for virtual events, okay? And also we have events on site. Sometimes, especially with small countries, we don't have all these ISU system like the ones we use in any international events. So the only thing you need is a tablet or a computer. You can set the online scoring system and you can enter there your marks, right? So it's another way to use it during live events, but of course it has to be a non-ISU event. It has to be more like a local event. Next, we're gonna talk about who is the data coordinator. So the data coordinator is the person in charge of the online scoring system. And they need to be in touch with the event coordinator and the local organizing committee to get all the information that is needed for the event. They also need to download the online scoring system and enter all the information into the system. The most important thing is that the data coordinator, we need to know everything about the online scoring system. Of course, you will think, oh, well, you know everything because you did it. Well, yeah, but if you go to the virtual event toolkit, there's all the information in there. So you have to go there. We will go through this later. And there's all the step-by-step information of how to download, how to use the different spreadsheets, how to do everything. And the only way to understand how all the online scoring system works is by reading all the documents and watching all the videos that we prepare for you. And you can find them on the virtual events toolkit, and I will show you exactly how to get there because there's sometimes you don't know how to get there, so we're gonna show you how to do that. So you enter all the information into the system and read all the how-to. And we are also in charge of the rehearsals. Normally we would say that it's highly recommended, but now I will say it's mandatory to do the rehearsals. Why? Because there's always something that can happen in the middle of an event, especially if it's online. Because the internet doesn't work, so you can tell, okay, maybe you have to move closer to your internet, or they don't have a Google account, so you help them to open a Google account. So that's why it's very, very important to have a rehearsal. We have done many, many, many events, and I can tell you that there's a big, big difference between the ones we did a rehearsal and the ones we didn't have any rehearsal. Normally, during the rehearsals is where you have all these problems. Of course, being on internet, that's the main thing, that you cannot control the internet around the world. So there's sometimes that if it's snowing somewhere in the world, then the internet might crash or something. So if you have the rehearsal, you have a backup of how to work with all these things. So it's highly recommended, but I will say more like it's mandatory to have it, okay? The rehearsal. So the online scoring system has different type of spreadsheets, and there's the data coordinator, the data input operator, the judges, and the referee. We will go through a little bit of how every of each spreadsheet works. But again, and I'm gonna say this too many times today, you have to go to the virtual events toolkit and read all the documents that are there for you to understand how everything works, okay? So let's go to the e-learning. Okay, so here, this is the e-learning website. And here in this part, if you click these white arrows going up or down, here it appears the virtual events tool. Okay, so you click here and it will open another window. And here you have all the information of the virtual events toolkit. And then you have all these tiles with all the different documents that all my colleagues have done. And if you want to go to the online scoring system, is on the number 7, okay? So we're gonna click in the online scoring system and it opens another kind of window. And here you have all the different documents. We won't go through all these because it's too many things that we have to read and all the videos that we have to watch. Here is a webinar from last year also, where I go through a little bit more of how to set up more like step by step. Now I'm gonna do it a little bit quicker because I want to show you all different things you can do with the system, right? So let's go here where it says how to download the online scoring system. So you click and it opens this window. And I'm just gonna go through this a little faster and I'm gonna click here to download the online scoring system. So you click here, you have to do some steps if it's the first time you download. Of course, this is not my first time. So this is what you get. So every year, we make updates, okay? Because every year there are new things from the ISU, there are changes on the values of some of the elements, or as last year, we changed it from 5 components to 3 components. So if it's updated, you will see this that says now updated with the rules from 2022-2023. Once we start with the next season, it takes a little time, so it will be in red because it will be also 22-23. Once I change it to the 23-24, then it will be green again. So this is just for you to know that it could happen that sometimes it's green and sometimes it's red. And the meaning is that we haven't finished the updates for like every year, okay? So the first thing you have to do is enter the event name. So now I'm just gonna enter here, virtual events Toolkit webinar, right? Just then you have to enter an event code. Why is that? Because sometimes you have like different categories or segments in the same event. So this is the easiest way to know in your Google Drive how to find it. So I'm just gonna enter a 01 here. As the category, I'm gonna enter a men's short program, okay? Oh, sorry. This is first you have to choose first if it's novice, junior, senior, or whatever you want. So I'm just gonna enter here junior. And the segment now it's the men's short program, right? And then you can choose between 5, 10, 15, or 20 skaters. So what happens if you have 8? There's no 8 skaters here. So then you choose 10 and you will have 2 more, but it really doesn't matter, no? But if you choose 5, then you will be missing 3. So this is important that you choose the lower one of the ones you need, right? So I'm just gonna choose here the skater number 5, and you will get this notification that says copy. But because this takes a little time, as it says here, this process can take several minutes. I download previous another one and I prepare it for you so you could see what I was talking about, the skaters. So I'm just gonna cheat a little bit and go to my drive, okay? So here we can see, this is the one I prepared before. So I'm just going to open the data coordinator that it's the first spreadsheet that we need to set up, okay? So this looks a little crazy, but it's very easy to use. If you read all the documents, you will see that it goes with pictures and how to do the things, okay? So the first thing we have is, it says event name or logo. You don't have to have a logo. So I'm just gonna enter here like webinar. And also you have to enter here the same name, okay? And then you have to choose the category. Here are all the ISU categories. So we have basic novice, intermediate novice, advanced novice, junior, and senior. But we also have this one that says other categories. So if you have like basics or pre-preliminary or different levels in your country, you just choose others and then you can keep going. But now I'm make it easier. I'm gonna just do junior. The segment, you choose between women short program or free skating, men short program or free skating, pairs. And we also have all the system is for everything. So you can choose also ice dance or synchronized skating, okay? So I'm gonna choose just men's free skating. Then you can choose the number of judges. You can choose between 3 and 9 judges. This is very important. If you the minimum number of judges that you need to for the system to work is 3 judges. If you only have 2 judges, there's no way this will work. Actually, it shouldn't be an event with only 2 judges. That would be more like a feedback or something like that, because the system doesn't work with only 1 judge or 2 judges. So we're gonna choose here 5 judges. And the number of components will be 3 components, okay? So with all these updates, we also make new things for the system to work. So one of these new things that we add to the system is that now you can use the referee's marks as judge number 1. So if you need that, you just click in this box and it will, all the referee marks will go to judge number 1, okay? The next tab is about the judges. So here, as you can see, it says here webinar. So here it will go the logo of the event or the name of the competition. And then here you enter all the names. I just add here judge 1 to 5, so you will see how it goes in the judges spreadsheet. Then you enter the name of the skaters. I add just these ones. And sorry. And then we have the results, okay? So because I already entered some things, that's why you have here already the points, but it shouldn't be. Normally it goes like 0, right?
Ari, I had a question.
Yes, sure.
If I was giving a seminar and I had, 12 trial judges, or there were 12 practice judges and we were practicing for an event, would I need to then have download 2 scoring systems?
Correct. The systems are made only for 9 judges and 1 referee. Okay. So if you need more, then you can download 2 systems and make 2 different panels, 1 of 5 and 1 of 7 or something like that. Okay. So you can get it. But it has to be not more than 9. If you have more people, then you can download 5 systems, right? It depends on how many judges you have to make the trial judging. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. So now let's go to the data input operator spreadsheet. So here, it's very important to understand that you don't have to be an ISU data replay operator to use this. What you need to know is about figure skating, and you need to know all the codes, and also you need to know the technical panel procedure so you can help them. But you don't have to be ISU, you can be national, or you can just like it's also a way to show them how to be a data input operator. You can also use the online scoring system.
You can really have no qualifications because I did that once. I know the code, so and they needed a person, so I was like, okay, here I go.
Correct. Yeah. So you are not a data international or anything, not even national. So yeah, you can use a
zero.
Correct. So you can use a judge to do this, or someone from the technical panel to enter the elements. Of course, they have to read how to use the data input operator. So each of them how to go through all the different documents. It's not only you as a data coordinator that need to read them. So you have to make sure that the data input operators also read the document so they understand how it works. Okay, and it's the same for the judges. And
I did my homework, Ari.
Good. That's good, Beth. Okay, so I'm gonna explain just fast how it works. Here in this column, we have the one that says just for judges. Okay, so why is this? Because as judges, we cannot see the levels of the elements. So if I enter here, I'm gonna just enter, I don't know, change combos pin, okay? So here I don't enter the number of like the level of the element, okay? And in this next one is where I enter the level. So once I enter the level, of course it's with internet, so it takes a little time, but here it will appear the value of the change combos pin. So here we have it goes like a 3.5, okay? So what I'm gonna do now, so you can understand how it goes, I'm gonna show you this judges one. So here you can see in the judges that you as judge, you cannot see the level, right? So now I'm just gonna go back to the data input operator, enter here the level, and at some point, here it will go the change combos pin with the level 4 in a few seconds. Here, there we go. So we as judges shouldn't be able to watch this, to see the level of, so that's why it's very important that all the elements that have levels first go here without the value, and then here with the value so we can get the base value of the element, okay? So this is how it works. Here I'm just gonna enter, I don't know, a combination of jumps. So in the first one, you enter the first jump. In the next one, you enter the second jump. And in the next one, we also enter third jump, okay? So here it will appear also in a few seconds. Here we have now 1.10, then it zooms the first single toe and it goes like that. So you get the final base value and it's 1.90, okay? So you could see that it was going, adding each of the different elements. So we have the single axle, the single toe, and the single toe, okay? So I'm gonna erase these ones. This was just to show you how it works because we are gonna do something for the skaters, okay? But before, well, I'm gonna enter now the, first I will go to the judges spreadsheet, okay? Just to show you how it works. Do you remember I entered the judge one name was J1. So this is for you as judges to know that this spreadsheet is yours. So if your name is Beth and it says Ari, then this is not your spreadsheet. So you shouldn't go as a judge and say like, oh, this is not my screen, right? My spreadsheet. So we need to change it. So this is why we enter the name of the judges here. So you know that this is for you, okay? So in this column is where you enter the GOE. All the elements will go through these columns, okay? And I'm just gonna enter a few marks so you know. So you enter the -4, or you enter just the 0, or for the pluses, you don't have to put +1, it goes just only for 1. But what happens if you enter something wrong? So let's say I click the wrong one and I put a 6, and then you click enter. So you will get this that says that there was a problem. So something is wrong. Don't freak out. Of course, you will have to read all these documents and watch all the videos that we explain there, how it works. You just click OK and go back to that mark and enter again the mark that was wrong. Okay, so the system is, there's some things that will pop out and said like what's going on, but everything is explained on these different documents. So go there, see how it works, and you will see that it's very easy to use because it goes like with step by step how everything could work, okay? And last is the referee spreadsheet, and it's also last here. I will go to this one. So the referee needs to have all the information for the event, right? So here, the first one we have is the list of officials. Then they have the starting order. And then the next tab is the spreadsheet that it's almost the same as the referee, as the judges, sorry. But because the referee have to enter some of the deductions, then we have here at the end, all the different referee deductions, and it's divided by if it's for single samples or for ISANs or for synchronized scaling. So I didn't show you in the judges how to enter the components, but it goes in this part. So let's say I wanna change these ones and I'm gonna enter 1 point. So you can tap all of them or you can choose between these ones, okay? So 1.75 or 2.25, enter, and then 1.5. Okay, but everything is explained on the document, so don't worry, it will go. If you read them, you will see everything. And then we have the send marks. Why we click the send marks? Because the referee and the data, you as data coordinator, also have to go to this spreadsheet and to this thing. It looks very crazy. You get like, what's going on? So I'm gonna show you how it works, okay? So here it's in red, and that means something is wrong with these ones. As you can see in the number 2, everything is in green because everything is entered correctly. But in these ones, and this is because I didn't enter all the elements in the data input operator. I'm just gonna enter 3 more. Okay, and this is what I'm gonna explain you later for the scalars. So in a few seconds, everything will change here and it will turn green. And this is what happened in a live event. Of course, because of the internet connection, everything can take a little time. So it's important to have I don't know why my internet today is not the best, but this is what can happen. And this is something we can see in live events. So let me just go back and see over here. And oh, this is because the judges have 4. Sorry. Change. Okay, there. So now it should change. Okay, at some point it will change. But what is important of this spreadsheet is that we can send different messages to the judges, okay? So here we have marks received, send marks, missing marks. You see, now everything is green. So
It must have stopped snowing in Mexico.
yeah, well, it's raining. It's not snowing, but it's raining. So maybe that's why the internet is not the best. So let's say here the judge number 1, okay, here, hasn't entered the components and hasn't sent the marks. So you can send a message to the judge saying missing marks, okay? So as judge number 1, you will see that here I have a big message saying you're missing a mark. Okay, so let's enter the components. Just gonna enter whatever. Okay. And go back to the referee. Now it's in green. Okay, now it's getting better, the internet. Okay, but still the judge didn't send the marks. So then you can send another message to the judge saying, send your marks, okay? So here it changed color and now it says send your marks. So I'm gonna click here first I'm gonna say ask for help, okay? So this is also one of the new things that we add to the system. And it's in case of, let's say like right now, I don't have a very good internet connection, so I will ask for help. So the referee will receive this that says help. So the referee could say, you will have a backup system or something, maybe WhatsApp or something like that, or a phone call and said like, what's your problem? And I will say like, oh, it's raining in Mexico, so my internet is too slow. But I already entered all my marks. So then the referee will say like, oh, it's okay, everything is done, and we can keep going with the event, okay? So this is why we add this ask for help, because as you could see, there was many times that we could have these problems, okay? So I'm gonna send the marks and you will see now in the referee, at some point it will turn green here, okay? So this is how it works. If the internet connection is okay, it's a good one, then it's quite fast. If there's something with the weather or something, then you can have different things, okay? So this is more or less how the system works. Of course, I cannot show you everything we have, but I think it's a quick view of how everything works, okay? What I want to show you now is how we can use it for the skaters. So I'm gonna split my screen, okay? So I'm gonna enter this to here. And I'm gonna use, here, this is the protocol. So just so you can see it, as judges, we have all these different. So this is what we can do. We can enter the change combo spin because the skaters always want to have the more level of the spins, even though the quality is not the best. So you can show them, okay, you're trying a change combo spin level 4, and that's supposed to be a 3.5 base value. But what you are actually getting is a change combo spin 2V, because something is wrong in your spin. So the base value of a 2V, it's a 1.8. But because it's a 2B, all the GOEs will be negative. So instead of having the 3.5 that you thought you will get, at the end, you're getting only 1.13. So you can show this to the skaters and they go like, oh. So then after you see all the spin of the skaters, you say, okay, if you take out these 2 variations or something, you can get a change combo spin level 2. And if you get a change combo spin level 2 with base value, you will end up with a 2.5. So instead of trying a level 4 that you will get a 2V and getting only 1.13, now here we have almost 1.37 difference between one and the other. So this is how you can show to the skaters how it's important not just to try the best thing, right? Like the higher level. It's also important to think about the GOE, because most of the time the skaters or the coach or the parent or everyone together, they think that it's why the other skater you are putting at level 4 and for my skater only a level 2. So this is how you can show them why I'm doing a level 2 instead of a level 4, because she will get more points, right? So all the system is about getting points, right? So this is a way to show the skaters how they can have more points. I don't know if there's any questions or anything you would like to add, Beth.
Well, I was just looking at that, because sometimes, as you say, skaters try for a level 4, but generally speaking, I mean, you're not talking about a skater who always gets level 4 and saying, oh,
Correct.
try level 2. You're talking about somebody who's trying level 4 and maybe at a competition or even in practice session, never actually gets a level 4. They always get a level 2. So it's really all about maximizing the skater's points. So maybe this competition, you're trying a level 2 and that's all you can do. And then maybe you're working on doing a camel side, and maybe you can do it 2 months from now. And now you've got a combo spin level 3. So I think it's all about building up, and making a good balance between GOE and levels, because the goal is to get the best score you can.
Correct. Yeah, and also because, of course, if you get more negative, of course, it impacts also in the components, right? So we need to explain our skaters, especially as I would say in Mexico, that this is something I do with the low level skaters, right? So because they are in the basic level, but they want to have level 4, and it's like, no, you have to start building the thing. So better start with that base and then level 1 and then level 2, and then you can grow up and get to the level 4. But it's better to start with a level 2 with basic, with base value, GOE with 0, and you will get this 2.5 instead of trying to get 3.5 that you won't get it, right? So I think it's a very good way to show the skaters, and you can do it with all the different elements. You can do it also what happened if they try with a double axel, downgrade, or if they better try a double lots well done or something, or a single axle with a +1. So you can make all these different numbers. There's sometimes that, oh, it's better to try a triple than to make a single, right? So, but it impacts in all the programs. So that's something you can start. We can use this system to show the skaters. So when we do the feedback here, we go through this and show them, the skaters, what's the difference if you get this level or this level or this level, and you get your final mark, right? So let's go back to the last thing that we get is the protocol. We were looking the other one, but this is the one we talked about before, that Skate Canada did, the challenge per trial judging, and it was also with people from all South America and Mexico, and I think the US. Beth was in US, so we were all over the continent, right? Because it was from Argentina to Canada, so we were all over the continent, and we did this trial judging so this was the protocol, and this is how we can see the final, the GOEs for each of the judges, and then you have your roundtable discussion. So I think this is it.
Ari, just one question now. This
Yes.
was the one that was live streamed, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So that was maybe it was the first time we tried that with a live stream event and the online scoring. That worked quite well, and you got to realize that, oh, next skater is on. Yes, I need to send my marks.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because when you are doing it with videos, they can take longer. But when it's live stream, it's another way to make your judges realize how the things works in real life, that you're gonna take 10 minutes to think, oh, is it a -4 or a -2? Like, you have to be quick. So this was a very nice way to show all the judges how everything worked, and they didn't send the marks. So as referee, you were sending all the hurry up to the judges and send your marks and and keep them like, be fast because the next skater is on the ice, and you cannot say like, oh wait, because it was you are not in the ring, right? So yeah, this was really, really great. So I don't know if there's any questions or anything from anyone that would like to ask something. If you think of a question later or did not get a chance to ask your question here, please send your questions to ariscoringsystem@gmail.com. And I check this email every day. If you download the system and you also have questions, or you get stuck somewhere after reading all the documents and after watching all the videos, and you still don't know how to do something, you send an email to this ariscoringsystem@gmail.com, and I will try to answer your questions, or if not, we can have a Zoom and we will go through any questions you have. Okay. So thank you for joining us, and I hope to meet you somewhere soon. Okay.
Thanks very much, Ari. It was really great to hear how we can use it beyond competitions and moving forward. So great ideas, and I'll look forward to trying it again sometime soon.
Thank you, everyone.